My students will be 20 to 30. It was based on a needs assessment, so they'll be ages 20 to 30, just graduated, kind of. Okay. So, I'm going to start with talking about an example that I want you guys to participate in, of two people. One's name is, one of the girls' names is Becky, and the other one is Wendy. Okay. What we know about Becky is she is a single mom. She has a 3-year-old. She works as an administrative assistant. She makes $30,000 a year. She's been working for 10 years. And she has her associate's degree in business administration. Okay. And Wendy is single. She works in sales. She has a bachelor's in general business with a focus in marketing. She has been working for 4 years and makes $80,000 a year. Okay. So from this information, who is able to save more money?
Wendy.
Wendy. Who thinks Wendy?
Depends on how bad cocaine is.
Okay. Yes. It depends. The answer is it depends. Wendy is single, and she makes $80,000 a year, which is significantly more than Becky makes. However, we don't know how much they're able to save. Maybe Wendy has an expensive house. Maybe she has credit card debt. Maybe she has a shopping addiction, student loans. She's only been out for 4 years. Becky had an associate's degree, so her student loans were probably significantly lower if she had those. So from this information, we can't really tell the difference. We can't tell who's saving more money. Okay, the same with retirement. Maybe Becky's been in her position for 10 years, and Wendy's only been in her position for 4, but maybe Wendy's putting all of her money into retirement. So it's all about financial decisions, and that is our topic of discussion today. So making wise and informed financial decisions will help you get to a better financial standing. Okay. So, what contributes to the decisions you make? So what things contribute to
I would say your family.
your family, right?
Lifestyle.
Your lifestyle,
Your education.
education. What else? What about this weekend?
Goals.
This weekend I would like to go to dinner and a movie with Craig in Atlanta.
Your entertainment choices.
So your entertainment choices, yeah, all of these things that we talk about, your family is part of your values. Your wants is, what I want to do this weekend, and also your needs, right? So those are all based on values, wants, and needs. So these are the 3 things you want to think about anytime you're making a financial decision. Okay. So what is a value? A value is a fundamental belief or practice about what's desirable, worthwhile, and important to that particular individual. So that's why you can't, even though Becky and Wendy, even though maybe they make the same plans for themselves, one of them's, going to end up having less money than the other because their individual situations are so different that no one can follow the same financial plan. So the next thing I'm going to have you guys do is to figure out more about values, is do the value continuum. So everything in this course that we do is going to be tailored to you specifically. So everything's designed to help you find out more about your financial needs. Oh, sorry. I was like, why did I hold that? out on 1 to 10 how highly you value each item presented. When you're finished filling out your value continuum, on the back you can see, based on the values provided, what are your top 5. So your top 5 highest values, you can list them on the back there. And then it asks you to list 3 things that aren't on the list, right? So it just gives you a list of things here, but there's plenty of other values that you may have that are not listed there.
What if they're like all the same? Like I valued my top 3 the same value.
Then try to decipher between
Which one I'm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one would be more? Try to put the top 5 in there. Is everybody about finished with that? We're still working. Okay. If you have any questions, let me know.
These color cards are not based on this.
The bottom part is, it can be the top 5 out of these. You can combine some of these, whichever ones are the most important, yeah. So out of the 8 that you have listed there, the top 5. see that about everybody has at least their top 5 values down in there. So we're going to go ahead and keep moving on. You can keep filling it if you want. Okay, so my top 5 values would be my morals, my faith, family, friends, education, and my career. So those are my top 5. How many of you guys have the same values as I do?
The exact same.
The exact same values that I have.
Say those again.
It would be my morals, my faith, my family, my friends, education, and career. Those are my top 5. Nope? Okay. So what am I getting at here? What do you guys think I'm getting at here?
Everyone's values are different.
Everyone's values are different. And why do your values matter when you're making financial decisions? What do you think?
Because what you might deem as important to you as a financial decision may be something that would be a not so smart decision for someone else.
Right, exactly. So say that I live in the middle of nowhere in a rural community. We don't have any kind of bus transportation. We don't have trains. So for me, it is a need to have a car, right? Because I can commute an hour to come up here to Bowling Green. So for me, it's a need to have a vehicle. But for somebody who lives, in the city and all their friends and family are in the city, they rarely travel out of the city, they may not need to have a car. I have a lot of friends that live in Chicago, people that live in New York, they don't have cars, they don't have driver's license even. So that's what I'm getting at with that. Anytime you're making any kind of purchase, even when you're, in Walmart and you see the big bag of Kit Kats, you want to think about your values and whether you need this or you want this. So every single financial decision that you make is based on your values and your needs and your wants. Okay. So everyone has different values. What we talked about again, all kinds of different values that matter to different people. And then we get to needs and wants. Needs are goods or services that are required for survival. So things that you need to survive in your day-to-day activities. Like I stated, I need a vehicle so that I can get to class and come up here to see all of you guys. Wants are desires for goods and services that can increase our quality of life but are not absolutely necessary for our survival. So as I mentioned, I would like to go to dinner and a movie this weekend and go see Spider-Man, but I do not need to, right? So that's my wants. Okay. So for this next part, I know you guys probably had long days working, so we're going to get you up and moving. So for this next activity, I'm going to ask everybody to stand up. Okay. And in this activity, we're going to talk about our needs and our wants. So I'm going to give you an example of something, and you can walk to this side of the room if you feel that it is a want, and you can walk to this side of the room if you feel that it is a need. So, at least one caffeinated beverage, either a soda or a coffee every day. Is that a need or a want?
Which
Needs is this way, wants is this way.
Just a reason to spend money.
I'm going to be on this side of the room. Yes. Okay, so we see we're split in half. To some of us, it is a want, and to some of us, it's a need. A personal automobile, so a personal car that you have. Yes, I'm going to move to the side of the room as well. A refrigerator.
We do need a refrigerator. I'm being dead serious.
Actually, I probably don't need a refrigerator because I live with my parents. My parents have a refrigerator.
I don't buy food, so.
So, there we go. At least 3 meals per day. I'm going to stay over here.
Wait.
At least 3 meals per day.
Do you eat them?
Yeah. If you eat 3,
I don't need or want.
I don't really eat. So I maybe have a couple snacks and one actual meal. So we're all about the same on that. A personal computer. So a computer that is just yours. Yes. For some people, they may have access to a computer lab that they can go to. As an undergraduate, I didn't have a personal computer. I went to the lab every day, but currently I do need a personal computer for my work. And lastly, a television. Is that a need or a want?
I can watch
Netflix.
Netflix.
So
Me either.
I can watch that on my personal computer.
Gotta watch your episodes.
that's right.
And the news, you know. Maybe that's how we keep in touch. Okay. All right. You guys can have a seat. Thank you. Hopefully that got you. Okay. So we did that. So these are different things that can be needs and wants that you can think about. Are they needs or wants to you? Maybe their needs or wants are different than someone else's. So every time you're making a decision, you need to think about your own individual needs, wants, values. Okay. So needs and wants will help you decide what to spend and not to spend your money on. So this is where we get to trade-offs and opportunity costs. You use trade-offs and opportunity costs to help you make these decisions. So when you have a tough decision about, do I need this, do I not need this, think about your trade-offs, which are giving up one thing for another, and your opportunity costs, the value of the next best alternative that must be foregone as a result of a decision. So giving up one thing for another, what's a trade-off that you can think of in your life that maybe would be an example?
One model of car versus another.
Right,
I need a car, but I don't have to have a Maserati.
right, exactly. Right, good example. So you don't have to buy the most expensive car, you need a car, you don't need to buy the most expensive one. Well, that would actually be your opportunity cost, because that would be
Well, the trade-off, it's the same, kind of the same thing in that.
kind
case.
of, yeah,
A trade-off would be public transportation versus a car.
right,
But there is no public transportation where I have to drive.
right,
So I
right.
guess in that example, for me, they're the same thing.
Okay, yeah, good example. So that one actually gave us examples for both. Do you have another one?
I was just gonna say for a trade-off, like if you're going out to dinner with somebody and you have to, or if you're gonna get dinner, you might have to decide you're gonna stay in or you're gonna go out.
Right, yeah, stay in, go out for dinner. That was my thought exactly. Alrighty. So, lastly, you might have noticed the cupcakes in the corner, and this is the cupcake scenario. So anytime that you think about making a financial decision, think about the cupcake. The cake part of the cupcake represents our needs, and they must be present and addressed before we consider any icing or decorations on top. You're not just going to have icings and decorations if you don't have your cupcake first, right? Got to have the cupcake first. And then you're just going to eat the icing?
Yes.
That's all I
That's what I
do.
usually do.
I just eat the cake part actually, so. But you have nothing to decorate if you don't have the cake first. So then you can put your pretty little stars, and the icing represents the wants and the extra items that make our lives interesting and enjoyable. So when you make spending decisions, you consider if your needs are met before spending any of your wants. What you determine will be a need versus a want will depend on your personal values. So just like your preference for different types of cupcakes. Okay. So that's what I have for the 20 minutes. The next part is over smart financial goals. I mean, should I continue or okay.
You're done.
Okay. I was gonna say I can.
Okay, who wants to go next?